Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday's night's edition of Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back right after the intro. And we are back. So today is Monday, of course, and we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and I can't wait till Christmas is over. I'm not a very Christmas kind of person because it just drags on too long. But anyhow, so today we have a special guest with us. We have Miss Ashley Storm.
Sup, chicken butts?
So how are you doing today?
I'm hot and cold and perturbed. Living in the South is getting kind of weird. Like, we used to have the most mild winters. Rarely ever actually like cold, you know.
Right?
This last week it's been like 30, 40 degrees. And then today it was like, hey, I'm gonna be 80.
Right?
And then tomorrow it's supposed to be 30 again. So it's just,
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Well, we got Penny, we got Lori in here, we got Mr. Scott.
Hello, Penny and Lori and Scott.
So Taryn should be in momentarily, unless she sends me a message saying she can't come in, but I think she'll be in.
Where is this live from so I can share it out? Are you on the Paranormal Buzz page?
Hey, Becky. We are on the Midwest Ghost Seekers page. We are on the Paranormal Brew page, the BB3 TV page, and the MGS Paranormal YouTube channel page.
Okay.
Scott, happy birthday, Lori. Yes. Happy birthday, Lori.
Sorry, I'm going to be doing this a lot.
That's all right. Everybody's starting to pile in. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Welcome all to the show today. I'm glad to have Miss Ashley on. I've been trying to get her on. She's
That's a lie. This is the first time he's invited me. Don't let this man fool y'all.
After so many times, I'm like, hey, you want to come on? You want to come on the show?
He never asked me. I could send y'all the receipts and everything. This is the first time. He was like, hey, do you want to do the show Monday? And I said, sure. Because had he ever asked me before this, I would have been like, absolutely, Darren. I love you, Darren.
And she just keeps blowing me off. Like, nah, I don't care right now.
I don't have time for you, peasant.
It's a good time with you on. So, if you didn't know Miss Ashley, she is from Profoundly Paranormal. And she's also on the Storm in the Unknown, which is on RU
Media Network.
Media Network.
Yas.
And then, what's that?
I said yas.
Yas. And then she also does the Paranormal Buss Stop with me, Cynthia Droys, and Shay Carroll on the Paranormal Buzz Radio Network, which can be found on Spreaker.com, short plug. And and owner of Broken Bow Asylum.
Yes.
So
don't forget Paranormal Bully Busters. That's just a good thing to get out there because of the resource information we get to give.
Absolutely. That's a very big deal on her network there. So is it before and after show, or is it only after?
It's only after. I only do it afterwards. Just because I can run it longer,
Hey, Cynthia.
and not have to rush through all of the slides and be able to leave the resources up there a little bit longer. But it's not something that my network does.
Okay.
I started Paranormal Bully Busters probably about 4 years now. Oliver's almost 3, so about 4 years now. With Fred Scheidenberger, Sandra and Russ Wells. I think those were the only 3 that we initially started out with. But Cynthia!
Thank you for stopping in, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia. I love you, Cynthia.
Long work day.
But, yeah, we started that just because we have platforms that get so many views. And when I say so many, like, even if you just get 60, 50 views on whatever show you're doing, whatever you put on YouTube, whatever you put out there, basically, that's 50, 60 people reached. We have a platform where people come to view things, but we also spread crisis resource information because you never know who it's just going to hit right for that one day. We always make sure that the resources are always in place. You can find the slides on our Facebook Paranormal Bully Busters page. This is annoying me. My bun is crooked.
I can't tell the
I
difference.
gotta fix it. So yeah. God damn it, my bun. Now it's gonna bother me. I'm lopsided.
Well, it ain't gonna bother this side because this side can't see anything.
Then you just do this so it'll bother you. But we use it. So the Bully Busters part, and this was very big miscommunication, I guess, on our end. We named it Paranormal Bully Busters, and people thought it was just like for us, like taking bullying cases in the paranormal, like people in the paranormal that were being bullied, which that is a huge issue. We as adults are still facing bullying, which is absolutely absurd to me. We are all grown to the point that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything and keep on your way. That is one of the rules that I think that as a society we need to kind of get that back. That whole Facebook, what's on your mind, made everyone have no filter. So
well, I mean, there's a time and a place to have, like, to say what you want to say,
Oh, absolutely. But when you use it for bullying,
yeah, that's the raw purpose to use it for. There should be no bullying anyways, regardless.
No, and
hey,
it's
Rich.
crazy because a lot of what the bullying that happens in the field, it's like you see it so much. It's because this person is investigating a certain way, or this person's using a certain device that this group doesn't use, and it's like to each their own.
That's why we have different paths, different scenarios.
What they're doing is not hurting anyone, and it definitely doesn't have anything to fucking do with what you're doing. You need to shut your mouth and keep going, because that's not. It's absurd, because people really do just like, instead of focusing on their own problems in their lives and their own shortcomings, are so quick to lash out and project that onto other people. And I think as a society, and as a field, because it's disheartening. I've technically been in it for 6 years now, but I've been doing it my whole life. Just didn't interact with everyone and do these types of things before that. And it's gotten so much worse. Everyone's a bully. There's so much gatekeeping. And with what we wanted to do was we fundraise for Stomp Out Bullying, which is a foundation that goes around from city to city, state to state. And they go to schools and teach the parents, the teachers, the administration, and the children how to deal with bullying, especially cyberbullying, knowing the triggers of, suicidal kids. The most insane thing to me is the third leading cause of children 8 to 19 is suicide. 8. Yeah. Count 8. Yeah. Children as young as 8 years old are killing themselves because of the bullying that goes on in school. And it doesn't. Before, when we were younger, when we went home, we got a break from it at least. Yeah. Now it follows you around with social media. You can never escape. It's tragic, honestly. And we just wanted to kind of change the way that people perceived it and know that there's help out there. A lot of people deal with bullying but don't know how to deal with it. So the Stomp Out Bullying thing doesn't just deal with children. It gives us as adults resources to kind of handle those situations and diffuse them without it becoming like a full-on bout and war with each other. Right. But part of what we do, though, with that foundation, since we have all the platforms, we do the Stomp Out Bullying. And our Stomp Out Bullying, the stompoutbullying.org, is on every single one of the slides. So you can get the crisis resource information, and then you can also get the information for Stomp Out Bullying in case you want to donate to them as well.
Very nice. And it's very true, because we all have our own style of investigating. There is no right way or wrong way. None of us are professionals doing this thing.
No. Anyone who calls themselves an expert's lying. An expert means you know everything that you are.
And you don't need to explore anymore, right?
Yeah, that you're basically attuned to every single in and out of it. When it comes to the paranormal, I don't give two shits what you say. No one is an actual expert. I can see them and shit, and I still don't think I'm anywhere near. You know what I'm saying? I can actually interact with them in a way that others can't. But I would never go so far as to be like, well, I know everything.
Yeah.
No, we're all still
Mm,
figuring it out. I think it's beautiful to see the different techniques and that everyone's brain processes information differently. Okay.
absolutely.
So the way that we obtain that information is also the same. It's that process is different for everyone. And I love watching other people investigate just to see, like, not to mimic what they do, but just to be able to think outside the box. And I know you're very much the same, like that outside of
Hmm.
the box thinking of, oh, well, that's so cool. I've never tried it that way before. And that's a really cool approach. Or just sometimes how certain people's energy interacts with locations. It doesn't even have to be like the way necessarily that they investigate. It's just that person as a whole,
Right.
how their energies interact with locations.
Well, yeah, I love it. That's why I watch the Facebook Lives because you get to learn about new people. You get to learn about the new styles. Oh, like you said, that's different. Maybe I try this on the next investigation I do and see if it works for me.
Mhm.
Some things work for others and some don't. That's just how it goes, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely get into that way of
Rich
investigating.
is here. Rich!
Hey, there's
Edie's there. Tell her I
Denise.
said hi. Hi, Edie.
So, I'm going to start you off with the first question. It's a pretty easy question. So, who is actually Ashley Storm?
I hate you. I want to punch you in your fucking face. You know that just made me so uncomfortable. Excuse me while I go puke real quick.
You knew I was coming up.
So, for those of you who don't know, um, and I am not like quiet about this at all. I've tried to, as an adult, be more open about this because I feel like if we just share our experiences again, if it even just affects one person, then it's not necessarily a job well done, but it's like, okay, you made a difference. And not to say like that's like my goal is to be like, oh, I made a difference. It's just like if I can genuinely help just one person with what I go through mentally,
Hmm.
then I feel like that's the least that I can do for
Right.
my fellow human beings. Um, I have bipolar disorder. My brain is basically like my worst enemy. I hate myself. Like it's I can't explain it to anyone
Hey, Jamie
who
Lynn.
doesn't really have the same thing, or isn't into psychology and doesn't understand like that balance. But like I am so very loved. I'm so very supported. I have a very great life. Do not get me wrong, but I do not like myself. Like when I see myself on posters and things like this, it kind of makes me like, ooh, I want to use my voice to help, but seeing my face just makes me like, oh, this is so gross. So for him to ask me that fucking question, who is Ashley Storm? He did that on purpose to make me uncomfortable. Because I'm going to be like, I'm me. And I was born in 1990 and I'm still here.
Oh my God, now I feel really old.
I know, right? Uh,
Thanks for that. So, touche in return.
you're welcome. But like, you just had to make it sound so douchey. um, God, I've dealt with this my whole life. Okay, so as in the paranormal sense, I've dealt with this my whole life. I grew up in Guam. I've always been able to see things like spirits, whatever you want to call them, entities, things like that. Then I moved to New Orleans after I lived in Guam. Both two places that are incredibly haunted and very much so, kind of like embracing of the
Mhm.
paranormal or of that side of things. The spooky side of it all. But other than that, I've just dealt with it my whole life, and that's kind of why I wanted to get into it, was to help other people, but also to kind of understand it more myself, what I was dealing with. Because I always kind of like, I know I'm fucking crazy, all right. Anybody who's met me for like 5 minutes, like, this bitch is wild, but like in a good way. Like I'm not gonna like stab your car tires or anything like that. Well, Darren, I'd probably do yours, but that's a
Yeah.
different thing.
After that first question, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Uh, so it's more of like I don't know how to describe it.
Well,
Now
your
I just
first.
can't stop thinking about slashing your tires.
Well, that's about a good 1,500 miles to do that.
At least we get to visit.
Yeah. We get to learn the Wisconsin way.
Oh my gosh. But it's more like
Everything is small here in Wisconsin compared to Texas, where everything is big.
even the problems and the attitudes and the people. I swear my attitude got worse when I moved to Texas. Everyone here
Oh
is just
shit!
like not mean, but they don't have like. I grew up in a place where it was like, "Hey, how's your mama?" and them. You know, you literally walk down the street, and even if you don't know the person, you're like, "Hey, how's your mama?" and them. Or how are you doing? How's your mom? Like, how's your family? Like, you're just personable to one another. And then when I moved
Mm.
to Texas, everyone was like, "Oh my god, what accent is that?" And why are you talking to me? I don't know you. So I went from like having an accent and shit to being like, "Hi, my name is Ashley. Pleased to meet your acquaintance." That's Ashley. I've been everywhere doing the paranormal stuff. It made me it made me want to help people, but it
Mm-hmm.
also made me again want to get my own answers because I didn't know what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
It started getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Like it went from just seeing them in passing to seeing two or three every single day, just kind of like standing at the edge of my bed and like, why are you here? What are you doing? What are you wanting? And I don't know if you've ever heard the term of an anchor.
No.
That's apparently what I am,
Okay.
which makes a lot of
Well,
sense.
see, now this
I'm
ties into.
basically like with your questions, so we can get to a different one. Okay, cool.
No,
Next
this ties.
question.
Well, it ties into when was your first paranormal experience?
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, yeah. So next question. What's the next question then?
that was
That's the next question.
that's the next question. This
Okay.
that what ties into the what was your first paranormal experience? Because you said you see them two, three
Mhm.
times a day, and now this is where it leads into this next question.
Yeah. So my first experience ever was so like I had always kind of like seen them, but the first interaction that I had where like someone else acknowledged what I was seeing, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me be like, okay, this is real. This is a real thing. I'm not like just imagining things because I was a kid. I was like 6 years old when this instance that I'm about to talk about happened. So before that, I really just thought like as a kid, it's goblins and ghouls and ghosts and the monster creeps under your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're sitting so in Guam, we basically like live in tin huts. There's not actual like houses. It's tin siding that are it's like makes up a whole ass hut because we have typhoons that roll through so often.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easier to build it back up that way. And you don't have doors. Like there aren't actual like opening and shutting doors getting in and out of the houses. It's like
Okay.
kind of like a free flow type of deal. So it was like a huge living room and then a huge kitchen. And it's like kind of an open area where it's kind of like all together, and there's a walkway in the middle. And I'm sitting in the living room and all my aunts and stuff are in the kitchen. And this lady in an older type of like mestiza dress, which is one of our older traditional garbs, she comes like walking, but also at the same time, like, I want to say floating, but you could actually, her movement was that of like being real gentle, but her feet were on the floor. Like I could see her like walking, but her movement was just very swift.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her like, who is she? Because all my aunts are in the kitchen cooking. No one's acknowledging the fact that this random bitch that I've never seen walked into our house. So I'm like, who is she? And one of my aunts turns around and she goes, Nen, you can either talk to her or let her keep walking.
So she saw it too.
A lot of my family is like that in Guam.
That's pretty cool. I mean, not you got something to relate with then.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I think it's because of where we grew up, though. Like it's very much a part of our culture. Our ancestors, the Tatamonas, who dwell the islands and protect it from the tourists and the people who are trying to break down bonellas trees and laddie stones and get rid of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different than living stateside and then going to Baptist churches every weekend. It was real different from going like, and it's weird because Guam is like strict Catholic. Like I was in church every single day and Sunday type thing, but we do believe in ghosts and spirits and
Mm-hmm.
entities that roam our island. There's duendes that are basically, and apparently you guys kind of have the same things in the US. They're like little woodland nymph creatures that try and trick children. They're called the green men here, though. But in Guam, they're called duendes, but there's the same thing. They're green.
Never
They're
heard of that.
children of the forest, basically.
I learned something new.
And now you know.
Now I know. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you go to the East Coast, they got these things called puckwudgies.
Yes, that's actually kind of
Kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
because when I was looking it up for it, so I speak at like paranormal conventions and stuff, and so when I was trying to do cultural differences, so that's part of one of the things I talk about is cultural differences in hauntings and entities and things like that. That we actually, even though they're called different things, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the entities reoccur in a lot of different cultures, and a lot of different continents too. Like no way that they could have been. So they coming over on boats, you know what I'm saying? Or they had storing away on planes and then reproducing it. Like, how did that happen? Type thing. So we delve a lot into that. And puckwudgies actually came up when in my research when I was
I call them ankle
researching
biters.
the U.S. version of a duendes. So it's pretty cool. They don't
Yeah.
look anything the same though. Puckwudgies, I think are like I don't know. Maybe that's just the U.S. version of it though, because ours look like jungle creatures. Like ours actually have like I truly do believe it's based on cultural background. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I think that these entities do shift, just like religion. I think all religion is based on the same principle, basically, but it was written in different ways so it could adhere to the cultures that it was put upon and fit those cultural mores more easily than just having one set thing all over the world, because that's not how it works. Where I think the differences make us beautiful. I wish
Mm-hmm.
people would stop making that such a big issue too. I wish we could just learn from one another and embrace that difference and that beauty. Because the things
Yeah.
we could learn from others if we just sat there
Oh,
and
it could be a lot. It could change. It could change the whole field's dynamics of thinking
yeah,
of things. Absolutely. I mean, it's just the connection you can have. It'd be unstoppable. You know.
mm,
So we kind of went over as to why you got into the paranormal field. But so, what was your first team that you actually got a hold of, and what was your first location you went to?
I know you're not going nowhere high sexy waffle cakes.
A little bit unrights there. Hey, a little bit unright. How you doing?
Ah, ah, ah. Hello.
She's always a hoot.
Sexy waffle cakes. Um, what was the question? Paranormal team and first location. Okay,
Yep.
so actually, um,
Because we
I
just talked about why you got into the paranormal,
yeah.
pretty much.
So 2018, 2019, I don't remember. Somewhere around then. I was like, I want to do this with other people. I'd been doing it by myself my whole life and didn't understand until I was like maybe in my mid teens that that's actually what I was doing. But ever since I was little, I would always take my little tape recorder, my little mermaid tape recorder deck and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and record when I would see these things that I would be seeing to see if I could like capture anything or like try and talk to them and see if I could hear voices back. I've always been investigating my whole life. But I was like, I want other people to share this experience with. And it was just by chance. It was part of the horror movie fan club Facebook page that I'm a part of. And they were talking about the Zach Bagans documentary, the one about the house and whatever. And he was like the only other person on there that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, oh my god, that was so amazing. Just, sucking complete ass because it was Zach Bagans, even though it was a shit documentary. 'Cause let's be honest, had anybody else put that out, everyone would have been like, oh, whatever. That didn't even actually prove anything. Bitch, what makes it different when he doesn't? What? Anyway, let's not get started on that. Anyway,
Hey,
so,
Zhang, how you doing? She's from Indonesia.
hi. What part of Indonesia?
Yeah,
I'm waiting for her to answer. I don't expect you to know that. It's okay.
I don't know.
He was the only person who did not just, completely fangirl over it and was like, well, actually, I thought it was kind of stale and nothing actually got, like, valid points. And so I was like, thank you. At least someone else here has some fucking sense. And just like, whatever. So then we started talking because I was like, I would love to do this, but I don't have anyone to go with. He's like, I actually used to be a part of a team. He did. And he lived like 2.5 hours away, which in Texas is really close. 2.5 hours is like no
That's nothing.
problem.
That's
Because
nothing.
getting anywhere else in Texas takes like 12, 13 hours, you know? So it was like, cool, we can meet like halfway wherever we go, or like, I can grab you if I'm on my way and we'll investigate together. So the first place that I ever actually went to was a church because I had asked, I was in the East Texas like ghost stories and stuff group, and I made a post and I was like, do you guys know of any places out in East Texas near kind of like near Gun Barrel City? Because I wanted to try and investigate somewhere close to him first. That way, in case it was weird, I could like just drop him off at home and run, you know?
Right.
And these two guys responded back, and they're brothers, they're twins. And they were like, we were actually hanging out, and it's a small little town. So the church parking lot was where they all hung out at, drunk beers, small towns are just like that.
Right.
And it was just those two and one of their friends. And the friend got like belligerent and drunk or whatever. And he threw a beer can through the window, and the glass shattered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they said when they looked back, the glass was completely like put back together. And I was like, interesting. But they were like, that church has always been said to be haunted, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I got permission because even though like the doors were like open, you could go in there at any time you want, like even overnight. It's again a very small town, like not secure at all. But I did ask permission before I went in there because I was like, I would like to know if something's here that needs help. Because again, I don't like crossing things over, but you can do light and growth sessions with them. You can help, and however they want to take that help and either be at peace, whatever they want to do with it. But I do not force things to move on or cross over, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
They were like, yeah, actually, we kind of like to know what's going on in there. So we went overnight, and I actually brought the two guys with me. And the
Who
whole
ran out
night,
first?
no one. But
That's a good thing.
It was really interesting because it was my first time ever out with a group of people doing it. And at that point, I wasn't working for the American Ghost Hunter show yet. But I think like maybe 2 streams after that, I was working for the American Ghost Hunter show. And I think just because of what I captured, I'm not gonna lie, weird shit happens around me. Anytime we're in groups, especially like in public events and stuff, everyone's like, I want to go with her. And I'm like, y'all can't all come with me. Like, we have to split the groups up. But it's just because as soon as I walk in, shit will like just start flying, or everything goes off, everything's like malfunctioning, and just it's really weird stuff.
That'd be kind of interesting because, Josh Hurd says the same thing with him and his couple groups people that he goes out with.
Really?
So if you and Josh Hurd and a few other of his friends,
Yeah, buddy.
that'd be a whirlwind right there, I tell you.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Rich
it's,
said very true. See, weird shit happens when I'm around.
yeah.
And it's not just in the asylum. No matter where we are, stuff happens.
Mhm.
And it's like and I'm not bragging by any means. It's just what it is.
It's just luck of the
Weird
draw.
things happen, and I happen to capture them. Like one of the live streams I was doing before I even bought the asylum, before like I even started doing tours there, when it was still the haunted house, and I was just reaching out for a filming thing for the American Ghost Hunter show.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there in a live stream, and as I'm talking, I'm like, I can feel him right behind me, just staring down my neck and breathing down my neck. And I kept talking, and as I'm talking, you can hear a male's voice go, like on the live. And everyone's like, do you hear that? And I'm like, yeah, I hear it. Y'all hear it too, though? Because like I'm used to hearing it. You know what I'm saying? But like they heard it too. Rich has some of the, I'm gonna have to ask him to send me the file so I can send them to you. Rich has caught some of the, I don't know any location that people dole out class A EVPs the way that he does. And I don't know if it's he gets really good captures in other places. I've seen them do the antique mall and things like that. But the things he gets from the asylum, I'm talking like 4 or 5 word sentence sweeps, consistent with the same voices, intelligent responses. Like, oh, it's just so cool. I love
Well, it
investigating
is
those
very
guys.
cool. I mean, it's just I ever since I switched from a Tascam to a Philips recorder,
Hmm.
I've been catching all sorts of
Much
Class
more
A,
stuff, yeah.
and it's
And
cleaner. It's a lot cleaner than a
you
Tascam is.
know what we use personally?
What's that?
So on top of the digital recorders, we also have one of the old school video, not video. No, I'm talking about video cassettes. The tape cassettes, like the actual like tape cassettes, a
Yeah,
tape recorder. But instead of just using that speaker, hook a parabolic mic up to it, a parabolic mic stand up to
hmm
it,
yeah.
and
I got a
record on that.
parabolic mic in the back.
Gotten the craziest responses on that thing. Yeah, it says fuck him a lot. It's
Yes,
pretty funny.
we are
But it's like
parental
he's saying
advisory.
it it's like he's saying it in a funny way, like in a joking way though, kind of sometimes.
Hmm.
Sometimes he kind of sounds serious about it, but sometimes it's like fuck you, Rich, like
So, did you ever have like your tape deck just shut off on you?
all the time.
Yeah, see, we were experiencing that at the museum where I go investigate up in Watoma, and we were up in the attic, and my wife was on one end, I was on the other end. We started talking, hit play on the or record on the tape player,
Mhm.
and 20 minutes in, it just shut right off.
You know why I think that happens though? Because a lot of the ghosts that we're interacting with, especially in older places like that, they know how to use that equipment versus the newer stuff that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I think.
I use it as trigger objects.
That's
I
what I was
use
gonna
it.
start
I bring
using
a
is
lot
bring it
of the
along
older
and just
objects as trigger objects. Hmm.
yeah, don't even care what's on the tape deck. It's I listen back to the tape. Sometimes it's like you can't hear shit on that hardly at all because it's so muffled.
No, yeah. But that's you can
So
also though put in the like the aux for the output. I just plug in my speaker
yeah, see,
and do it
I
that
had a
way.
little mic that came with it. And
Hmm.
it's awful. But the thing is, it can tell when you're talking, it lights up blue, so it's
Uh-huh.
picking up your voice. But it, like I said, 20 minutes in, it shut it off. I told her, where's the tape at? Because sometimes, some tapes are short
Well, if
and
it's
they can
yeah, I
run
was about
out.
to say if it's running that long though, some of them won't continuously run that long. So you have to also look at the model and how long the run times are on them. Because even though it's not out of tape, it'll stop just so it doesn't burn out the motor
Hmm
inside.
it's a Jensen tape deck I have. Um, but she said, well, the tape is like halfway. I said, we'll put it back in, press record again. So she did. Started recording again. 10 minutes later, boom, shuts off again.
So it's not in the same time intervals and that it's happening.
No, it's like a few minutes after
Huh.
the first time it shut off. And then she's like, I said, well, take the tape out. She did. Same. It didn't go any further than what it was last time. Put it back in, hit record. She did, but when she got walked away, she came back 20 minutes later and it was on pause. So it's like, I
Nice.
lost 20 minutes of playing time there.
Pardon me.
So I could totally hear you about that the tape deck.
It's pretty
So
cool.
yeah, I was just like, wow. But
I can't wait to see the full video of what you got this last time. Were there a lot more F bombs after I leave? I've always kind of wanted to ask that, but just never really thought to until now. Do you feel like the energy in there towards y'all changes once I leave?
I don't know what to respond.
I've had about 3 or 4 groups that is like about an hour or two after I left because like, I had to cook back home to Oliver, consume overnight, do the whole thing. But I leave at like 2 or 3 in the morning, like
Hmm
on occasion. Interesting.
Hmm.
For better or for worse, though, because that's also something that I should have clarified. Um, it the teams are like, okay, it got really weird as soon as you left. It got like super aggressive in here, just like really heavy, and all we keep getting is your name. And I'm
Now
like,
they're attached to them then to the building.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I mean, every time I get into your live, I can go in there for a little bit, and all of a sudden it skips a lot. So I don't know if there's a certain part of the building
No,
where it just
I don't
stops.
lose service at all in that building. It's them fucking with the camera because it doesn't even do so. Like when you're on a live,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be like reconnecting. Do you want to reconnect or end the stream, or do you want to save it? Right? That
Right.
always comes up. No matter if you lose service or not, that always comes up. My phone just goes black, and then it'll randomly come back on the stream. And I'm like,
that's weird.
What? And they fuck with it. They manipulate my phone so much. It's insane. I'll be in there and my phone will open up and just start like somebody's like scrolling through it and opening up apps and stuff. There'll be times I'm going through the ghost tours and then all of a sudden my voice apps and stuff start turning on, the things I use to investigate. My voice apps will start turning on like, okay, I'm ready to talk already. Shut up and record. And I'm like, no.
Does it ever dial out?
It does, but for other people. It's never done that for me. So one time I called 911. Tanya, one of the ladies who helps me all the time, it called 911. Her husband immediately called her and was like, I'm getting a 911 alert from your app, because they have Apple. So if like someone makes an emergency call, I guess it sends like an alert to your family member. He's like, are you okay? And she was like, I didn't make a call. And she didn't hear her phone ring. Her phone was not going off. Like her phone was in her pocket. She looks in and 911 is dialed. Jeez. And then it does it again. While she has it out, it does it again. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, Rich. So his brother was on the phone with his wife, I think. And then she said she heard someone say, get off the phone, get off the phone, get off the phone, was what it was, or hang up or something like that. And he was like confused because hang up now is what she heard. But it wasn't her husband's voice. She's like, who is that? Who is who? So she was hearing something from the asylum. Man. Through the phone. I'm telling you, man, this place is...
It's off the charts. Amazing. I mean, you got a lot of stuff that goes on. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, outside stuff that goes on too, but I mean, it's we'll get to that in a little bit, but
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Hey, Nick, how you doing? Welcome to the show. So, she has abilities also.
Yes, okay. That's Thea, right, Rich? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Thea. That's always very interesting, too, to get more than one of me in there. When there's more than one person with abilities in there.
We're asking for a storm there. Like just see what I did there?
No, different brother. So, you have another sister-in-law who has abilities? Y'all just all types of talented up in that family. Phone call from Melissa. The person picked up nothing but screams.
Interesting.
Has she ever been to the asylum, Rich? I don't think I've ever met any of the other wives.
She sees them.
Yeah, she hasn't been up there. I didn't think so. I was like, I think I would remember that.
Yeah, I got to invite a new guest.
They're awesome. You should invite Rich and Edie. They're amazing. Real cool peeps.
Absolutely. So here's another question. Before I ask a question, does anybody have any questions in chat real quick? If you want to throw one out there. Put her on the spot. I do it too often, though.
That's my deer in the headlights look.
You have a few minutes here. Moments, actually.
I was about to say minutes.
Yeah. Well, you know how people, when they type, it's like a real long...
He's calling you guys slow typers.
No, I'm not. I'm a slow reader, so...
survived the last round of tornadoes? Barely. Barely.
Yeah, those tornadoes are pretty bad down there by you.
The tornado didn't hit me anywhere near as bad as that last break-in did.
Oh, God.
That last break-in was...
Yeah, I heard all about that.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey, Amy, how you doing?
Oh, her picture is puppies.
Uh-huh.
Hello,
she's
puppies.
Awesome. So, what do you like and what don't you like about the paranormal? So, we kind of heard about what you don't like. So, what is it that you really like about it?
Trouble tonight. I just feel it. I feel like this was a setup. Good
No,
night, guys.
I would
Bye,
never.
everybody.
I would never. I would never do that to you.
You totally would. Shut up. Um. Oh my gosh. What I like about the paranormal is
Yeah.
the same
What
thing
gets
that I
what
don't.
gets you excited?
The
What
same
gets you
thing that
excited?
I don't like about the people, or it's the same thing that I don't like about the field.
It's what coming up.
Some of the people. No, they don't do. See, they don't put me in Facebook jail for any of this stuff that I say. It's
No.
always like when I'm always telling Cynthia that I'm gonna kidnap her. But you know that I mean it in like a funny way. I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute. I'm gonna kidnap you and stick you in my pocket. And Facebook doesn't pay attention to the "you're so cute" and that I'm gonna stick you in my pocket part. They just pay attention to that I'm a kidnap you part, and they fucking throw me in Facebook jail every damn week. And to me, it's a term of endearment. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna kidnap you, or be like, oh, I'm gonna cut you. I say I'll cut you like 20 times a day, jokingly, obviously. But one of my friends said something stupid. I was like, you stop it, I'll cut you. Because that's just how we joke. I got thrown in Facebook jail for that shit too.
Yeah, I haven't been in Facebook jail just yet.
So yeah, see, putting people in your pocket, you just want to take them with you. Just give them a pocket.
Yeah.
But again, the same thing that I do not like is the same thing that I do like. It's the field in itself, the people.
Right.
Because for as many people who are out there being gatekeepers, being bullies, just being really negative influences in all of this because of the way that they treat others, because of the way they treat spirits, whichever part of that you want to hone in on.
Mm-hmm.
I truly do believe that there's like 5-6 times that amount of good people in this field, kind-hearted people who come together, who are truly a community. And I hate the word para-unity because that's basically just an excuse for people to bully other people under the guise of, oh, don't worry, we're being nice about it though, because we have the para-unity. We have a para-unity banner, so we're fine. But some of the biggest bullies out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you judge other people and you put them down because they don't investigate the same exact way with you. That is not
That's not how it's supposed to go.
That is not what unity is.
No.
Unity is not working in certain terms. Yes, unity is working as a whole, working as a well-oiled machine. But when it comes to things like hobbies like this and fields like this, it has to be a unity of different ideas and collective thoughts and different visions for it all to come together and be united in that way. And for people to be like, oh, well, para-unity, that's common humanity. To me, for you to sit there and be like, oh, it's para-unity, so we just need to treat everybody nice. To me, that's common humanity and common human decency, that you should be treating everyone like that all the time, not just because they're in the paranormal with you.
No, Felix is in the background.
No, he's hiding it because I don't do dolls, and he knows this. And so,
hey, Troy.
Hey, Troy.
Yeah, I'll move. You can see her. She's right there.
Get back up. Ugh. Fucking hate that doll.
Well, I was given to you from Cat Armstrong, so I have to abide by it. So.
I don't do dolls.
I don't either. I usually want to set them on fire and punt them, but I can't. Not that one. I can't.
I was about to say, maybe not that one, but you can for the rest. Let me tell you something, okay?
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Scott said hi to Felix. So, okay, here's one that I don't know how this will suit you, how you feel about it, but what do you believe and what don't you believe in the paranormal field?
Ooh. I do not believe that. I don't want to say it like this. I'm trying to. God damn it! See, you're trying to get me in trouble, motherfucker.
Honestly, I'm not. It's just like it just took me 10 minutes to have questions. So
this is just my opinion. Do not attack me. Do not be like, oh, well, you're wrong. I might be wrong. You might be right, but you might also be wrong, and I might also be right. We will never fucking know. Okay.
Right.
I do not believe that you can cross things over the way that people say they can. I do not believe that by going in, or okay, here's not necessarily the thing, not necessarily believing in crossing over. Okay, I believe that you can cleanse the spirits or like push them out, or maybe even help them filter through, which is what I call the passing over phase. My thing is, every single time you hear them be like, don't worry, you'll be happy, you'll be peaceful, you don't fucking know where you're sending them. You
Well,
don't know
yeah.
what that person all has
There's
done in
5
their life.
dimensions in the paranormal field, so what dimension are we sending them in?
Exactly. You don't know. You can't. You're sitting there and being like, "Don't worry, trust me. I'll bring you to the light, and you can filter through, and you can be in peace, and you can be happy. I don't give two shits what anyone says.
Go in one
You
door and
don't
out the other.
know where you're sending them. You don't know what all they've done in their life. You do not know what religious background and belief most of them even had. You don't even know if it's actually possible. You could just be sending them like to a different location. You know what I'm saying? So you're like pushing out these
Mhm.
ghosts of their own homes and then making hauntings for everyone else. You don't actually fucking know. For anyone who says that they know for a fact that they're crossing people over to the good side or whatever you want to call it, I want proof. How do you know that that's where they're going? Are they sending you postcards? Are they giving you like updates? How do you know?
Mhm.
Because I truly do believe that, like, so we're all energy,
They turn
right?
around and send you a text. Hey, I'm here.
Everything, yeah, right? Everything is energy, okay? And I truly believe that we are like dimensional planes just layered up one on top of another. And then once our energy in that certain dimension is finished, it filters through to the other dimensions. And our energy is not necessarily purified, but transformed into something more pure energy rather than something flesh and blood. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
We like transcend our energy.
Mhm.
We lose the meat bag and we transform into an actual energy source, pure energy source. Now, I believe that there are certain people that choose to go into that. I've had a near death experience. I've seen that light that everyone talks about. I know what they mean, but I believe that that light is what our energy goes into to reach that. I want. It's like a machine that we have to go through for our energy to be more fixated and more whole as an actual energy source rather
Are
than
we
holding on
talking
to
like
our ethereal
Stargate here?
bodies. No, 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 no.
I was gonna say.
Okay. So now there are ghosts to me.
Yep.
Ghosts are the ones that choose to come back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
They've had their energy is already imprinted in this plane. Okay. So they can travel back and forth because their energy is now in both of them. They choose to come back. The things that are the people who have spirit guides, I see people's family members just coming in and popping in on them and checking up and just like being like, bye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe that maybe you do find a certain peace when you do that. Who fucking knows? But you can't sit there and guarantee someone that, because you just can't. Okay, and that's very irresponsible of us as investigators to ever be like, don't worry, we're gonna help you, and you send somebody to get stuck in another fucking dimension with like fucking H.H. Lovecraft shit. Okay, don't do that. Now, I believe that spirits are the ones who their energy met, like their energy left that corporeal body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But their energy is still lingering, trying to go into that. Not as a machine. Again, think of it as a plane. It's they don't want to filter through. They're afraid of what's on the other side. A lot of the times, especially when we do just EVP sessions, we ask, "What are you afraid of?" And I can't tell you how many times we get the light. There is a light. I've fucking seen it. I think that the ones that not necessarily are stuck here,
Mm-hmm.
they choose to stay here because they are afraid of of what is on that other side, what is on that other dimension, what is on that other plane, what is in heaven, what is in hell, what is in earth. There are so many different religions and theories, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah. No,
we
I
all
get
grow
that.
up, especially people who are Catholic and that type of brain of Christianity, where hell and heaven is a very real thing, right? And if you did not repent, if you're not baptized, there are so many different things that stop you from getting into heaven in those instances.
Well,
And some of those people may have died before they got to rectify those situations. So they're just sitting there kind of afraid. But I truly don't think that there's anything, not necessarily that there's nothing to be afraid of,
Mhm.
but like I said, that light work that we do with them changes who they are as a ghost, but in a very good way. It's literally like therapy sessions with ghosts is what I do. I
Mhm.
go in, I don't even record most of the time. Like it's just me and the spirits. And I'm just like, does anyone want to talk today? Like what's on your mind? Is there anything I can help you with? It's just basically being human towards the dead. And their energy shifts and it becomes more light. It becomes more less heavy when you walk in and more welcoming and kind of like a warmth almost and less cold. That's one of the weirdest things. It's gotten like more hot and not like in a bad way. It's just like instead of being so angry and bitter and cold, they're warm
Mhm.
and loving. It's very interesting to see the difference that's been made at the asylum over the 3 years.
And they're saying about the light and all that stuff, and they shy away from it. Maybe they feel they have a better purpose of staying here
Here,
and
yeah,
helping
some of them
somebody
don't want to
else.
leave for that. Yeah, there could be
Yeah.
a billion of different reasons why they don't want to do it, but I think that that's kind of like how it works. And
Hmm.
I believe
You have
not
choices.
necessarily in a certain set religion. I've studied basically all of theology. I just believe that I believe there is a greater power in this universe. You can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it whatever you want, but there is an energy in this universe that is greater than every single one of us. And no matter what your religious background or belief is,
Well, just don't get too close to the black hole.
yeah, that thing. Um, See, now what if that's where you're sending somebody? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like no matter what you believe in, I think we all have that common fear. No matter what religion it is, we all have that common fear of we were not good enough in life
Hmm.
to deserve that grace of what is waiting for us beyond that's supposed to be better,
That's
that
how I feel
supposed
sometimes.
promised land.
Wow. Good answer. I like that.
Very much.
Uh so you touched on it just a little bit during that answer there. So the best tool that you like to use on an investigation obviously is yourself, but what else do you also like to use?
Um, it would either have to be it's a tie between just a digital recorder,
Hmm.
any type of recorder, just because I love that. It's not an app, it's not white noise. You know what I'm saying? It's just it is what it is. It's very clear and cut. And I think just the things that we've captured alone is just kind of why it peaks as one of my favorites. But the other one, and I only like it because of how much it freaks everyone else out. I love using dowsing rods.
Mm. I That's something I'm trying to get myself to use. I have a pair. I just have not used it on an investigation. So maybe I should use that in the 17th and see what happens.
I love using dowsing rods because people freak the fuck. They're like, how is she doing that? She's not even moving her hands. I'm like, because it's the ghosts. And they freak the fuck out. It's so funny. And then I'll let them do it. And they're like, something's like because you can feel the energy flowing through you when it like you can actually feel that connection.
Hmm.
And it's so I love seeing that look on people's faces when they get to experience it themselves. That's why I like using dowsing rods because I'll pull them out and be like, okay, who wants a turn? And then they get to experience it themselves. And that to me, like, just kind of making a real believer out of someone like, oh my God, this is real, you know?
Yeah. See, I couldn't handle it. I have to work on like holding them steady. That's my
Mm-hmm.
biggest problem because I don't have a very steady hand, and I have a finger that wants to lock. So I unlock and goes flying. So
You can't do that in a museum either. They're probably glass cases. Or
some areas are, some areas aren't. But so is there like any new things that you want to try that you haven't tried yet? And I think I know one of them is mirrors,
yeah, but
spreading mirrors.
we're starting that whenever they get down here.
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, but so one thing that I really 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 want to do is get other people who are like me who have abilities
Hmm.
and all kind of be in the same room
Right.
and write down what we're getting as someone else is doing an Estes method in the corner,
Oh, that's fun. I like
while
doing that.
someone else is just doing a burst EVP session, like doing all of the different experiments with voice recordings and spirit boxes and things like that while the mediums are in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we are going to be completely soundproof too, like can't hear anything, and writing down what we're getting and seeing how it coincides with one another. I think that would be super cool. But I
Yeah.
haven't found enough people to do that yet.
No, see, I mean, and you can bring Thomas into light and see how that goes down there, you know.
Here we go.
And speaking of the asylum, so what actually got you into buying an asylum? Of all things, what got you to buy one?
Stupidity. Owning a location is the hardest thing I've ever done. I was not prepared for it at all financially, honestly. It fell into my lap. I had
Mm-hmm.
been working so I started doing just the live streams for the American Ghost Hunter show there.
Right.
And then he was like, hey, since we're only using it in October for the haunted house, would you want to do like what you do, but do public stuff and have people come and whatnot? So I ran tours for them and investigations for them and things like that. And then about a year into that, he was like, how would you like to be co-owner? And I was like, I would love it. And then like 6 months later, he was like, how would you like to own it? And I was like, I would fucking love that more. But my dumb ass was just like, sure, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, no.
It's a lot more work than you thought. I can see that.
It's not more work. It's not about the work part. It's the money thing. Because and this was my fault, I donated way too much. I am the type of person, when I see someone in need, I'm going to be like, hey, here you go. Last dollar in my account, last like piece of food in my fridge. But I'm always giving away to fundraisers and shit. And so then by the time 2022 came around to booking, most of the bookings that I had were all donations. And I was like, wait. So I'm like halfway booked right now, but these are all donations. I'm not making anything off of this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my fault in the beginning. But then it became about, oh, well, we're going to cancel our booking, or we're going to, I was very lenient about payments. I was like, it's fine. You can just pay me. You know, I understand about money problems. It's okay. And I understand as investigators getting the money to come and do these things, especially with travel, stay, and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very understanding about that. So then I'd have these weekends booked, and then the people just don't show up, never pay, nothing. So then I'm left with all of these weekends that were just open, and I couldn't do anything with them. Then I would run last minute public events just to try and like kind of make something, because everything I make from the asylum goes back into it. So if I'm not making anything, nothing's going back into this building for it to be redone, period. Right. So it's the money thing. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, because you don't have electricity or bathrooms, we don't want to do it. And I'm like,
hey, there's a gas station just down the road.
Yes, but also my prices reflect that, as well as the fact that my rates are like insanely fucking cheap. For $650, you get 30 hours. Most places charge you $650 just to get 7 hours. Okay?
Yeah.
I charge $350 for 12 hours, but it includes your stay overnight. Like, you're welcome to sleep in the asylum. You might have to piss outside, but like you have a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the whole thing. And
well, the thing is too is you got so much love into that place that you're trying to fix up. You know, you're pouring your heart and soul into that place, and people are just pissing on you on that, and that ticks me off.
Yeah. Well, it's also though that like, okay, I understand, like, yeah, I don't have electricity and this stuff, but how do you expect me to fix it if you're not going to fucking book?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That doesn't get fixed by y'all just not fucking showing up.
Right.
I don't get it. I really don't. Because I can't tell you how many places I've been to that don't have electricity, don't have a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these places, I think in the community, we need to understand, like, this building might have been here since 1954, but it has been renovated since they shut down in 1990. That's almost 30 fucking years. It's as old as me. It hasn't been renovated since I was born.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. We just have to be more understanding about that shit. And then for them to be like, oh, well, you don't offer this and you don't offer that. And it's like, I'd like to see what place does actually offer all of those things. It's not an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast. You know what I'm saying? That it's
well, there's a lot of places.
and it's an experience more than an investigation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. And there's a lot of these places that we go investigate, but then where do we go? We go to a hotel and go sleep at a hotel because they don't allow you to sleep in there sometimes.
And I let people sleep in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can sleep, and yeah, sometimes it's uncomfortable, especially during the summer. But like, I'm at least giving you the option.
Right,
You know what
and
I'm
you cook
saying?
for them too. That's another thing. You cook for them.
I used to. I haven't done that in a very long time because it's just too time
Well,
consuming.
you're cooking when I get down there at some point.
Well, if you finally fucking book, I will cook for you. It'll be a goddamn celebration.
Well, yes, it would be. We have a party.
Yes, I don't have to drive 1,300 miles to pop your tires. Woo! You
Right?
come to me.
Oh man. So since you bought the asylum, do you think it has changed somewhat compared to what it was to where it is now?
Absolutely. I think it's done not necessarily a 360, but it's definitely like you can tell that the spirits are happier.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that um, uh, the general atmosphere of it is just nowhere near as heavy. Before, you used to walk in there and like barely be able to breathe. Like even people who don't have abilities at all just would feel the heaviness and the anger and the sadness just kind of like just mired every inch of that place. And now it's definitely more playful. It's definitely more lighthearted. Um, the spirits are much more interactive in a fun way rather than kind of like a testing you type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to the groups that we have tons of return groups. If it weren't for like the 4 groups that return to me like every 2-3 months, I wouldn't be in business anymore. I truly would not be in business. These 4 teams have kept me afloat. It's insane that I have to count on 4 different teams to just constantly be like booking just so I can sit there and get one side of a wing rewired or one fucking
And it's the
window
campfires you
redone.
get to have with them too.
Yeah.
Those are always fun. And you also don't you do something prior to your investigations?
We do a haunted history tour
That's it.
as well.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
You get a full history tour. I even have a vendor come. If you guys want a food vendor on site for you guys all night, he comes. I don't charge him anything. He just comes and keeps whatever he makes. But like I have all of those options for people. But you know. Yes,
And
Rich I think can attest that because they've been coming since I first bought it basically. Um, they've been coming for a while. So I think they can attest to the change
right.
that has gone on, especially with our spirits. I really do think that the therapy sessions and shit works. Just like any human being in life, all they ever wanted was to be listened to and loved, you know? And a lot of these people, especially the people in the nursing home who were dropped off and basically just left there to pass away, a lot of the kids from the alternative wing and the level E offender facility, the trauma center, they're all different types of walks of life in there that needed love and they needed family. And I think that's what we've given them. And I'm really, really happy about that.
See, that's a good story in the making there. Once everything gets done, and it's just gonna all be a positive thing once things get finished for you.
If they get finished.
And
I
the
honestly don't
contractors
know.
stop stealing your stuff.
Well, I honestly don't know if I will be able to keep it open another, like after 2023. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it open. I honestly don't. Like at the rate that we're going right now, I won't be able to keep it past 2024 or 2023.
Well, let's not let that happen. Got to help the lady out, guys. So, so here's kind of a question. We're kind of breaking away from the asylum a little bit for a while here. So if you had a chance, like any show that's paranormal show on TV right now, if you were given a chance to make your change of that show, what would it be, and what would be your change? Here we go.
You already know my fucking answer. Cancel Ghost Adventures because I'm tired of that bastard. Bruh, if he was really possessed as many fucking times as he said he's possessed, he needs to go in the Guinness Book of World Records. Because that shit.
He needs a mental hospital to himself.
The whole phrase, you get what you give.
Yeah.
Okay, you go in there and you talk to them like they're fucking assholes. Then you get treated like an asshole. Then you're like, why are you treating me like an asshole? Because you're being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Done. That's my answer to that. Fuck him. And here's my thing. I used to watch it. I used to be the biggest fucking fan in the world because they're like, what I see is normal. This is real. And then I was like, these motherfuckers are dipshits. They're absolute dipshits. Because when it comes down to it, if a living human being came into your home and talked to you the way that he fucking talked to you, you'd kick him out or you'd beat his ass.
Absolutely.
Done. Because it started out as we want answers.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's nothing about, it's shock value. And it's teaching all of these people who come in and are YouTube investigators and all that stuff to do nothing but provocate, to provoke, to get responses. And if that's all you're looking for in this field, you do not need to be in it. All you're doing is making it worse for those people who come behind you. Those locations, you're pissing something off and then leaving it pissed off for the next group to come in and deal with, or the owner to deal with. That is incredibly fucking irresponsible. It pisses me off. So at the asylum, and this happens all the time, I have a rule. Everyone signs a liability waiver and terms of agreement and everything. And my first rule is, although we welcome all different types of investigation styles, we do not allow provocation. You will be asked to leave the building if you use provocation. So many of them are like, so basically what Zach Bagans does. And I'm like, exactly. Act like him, you're out of here.
There's a way to do it, but tactfully.
It depends on where you are.
Right.
I believe like there's certain settings that's okay for.
Yeah.
Like jails and things like that. But there is never a reason that you should be going into a hospital or a nursing home.
Right.
Or anything like that, or a sanitarium. These people had mental illnesses. You might feel that that's aggression. They're fucking mentally ill. And you're going to sit there and talk to them like they're a piece of trash because you
They're
feel
going to come back. You're going to feel that wall and they come up and hit you with it.
It's ridiculous. Because again, that common human decency, remember, they were humans at one point too. I don't understand how that seems to just like slip people's mind constantly in the midst of investigations. That they're circus animals. Perform for me. Do this, do that, touch this, touch that. Never saying please, never saying thank you, never having like an ounce of a modicum of fucking respect for these energies, but expecting them to be just do this, do that for me. It's not how it fucking works.
Right.
Ooh, now I'm actually hot because I'm so mad.
Sorry. Cool off. We got a serious question here. Give you a second to cool off. Damn it, I always do that to you. It's not here, it's on the radio show.
Exactly, Nick. There is absolutely no fucking reason for it. Right. None. Unless you are dealing with an entity of sorts, or not even that. You shouldn't even be using it then. Like, I truly don't believe that there's any rhyme or reason, or like there's no genuine reason for you to ever need to use it. Now, I can understand a ghost being an asshole to you, and then you feel the need to protect yourself. But there's a way to do that without being like, okay, yeah, well then do this. Let me tell you, because what if I... Ooh. Never mind. Next question.
All right.
Oh, God.
This is serious now. What is the holy grail of the paranormal to you? And if you found it, would you keep on investigating? Personally.
Yeah, that's
to
what
you
I'm saying.
personally.
You should never be doing it. Ever. You should never be doing it. But that's what they want. They want it for the views and for the likes and for the thrill of it. And it's disgusting. It truly disgusts me when people do that. The Holy Grail would be... I don't know, because I get to see them and interact with them on a daily basis. I think the only thing that pushes me more than anything is because I've had that near-death experience and my abilities did get much stronger after that. I don't think I'll ever know this until I actually pass. So I don't want to like push it.
Mm-hmm.
But what was in that light that I saw? That's I want to know.
Let's be on it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of us want to know. What's beyond
yeah.
it? Is
But
it worth
again, we can't.
passing?
I don't think as living beings here on this plane in our corporeal bodies, I don't think that's a mystery we'll ever figure out. And I think it's meant to be a mystery because if you think too much about you know that other side, or I just don't think you'd focus so much on being present in this life.
I just want to know what all the other dimensions are like. I mean, how
Yeah.
different are they from each other? You know,
Hmm.
that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
If I see a portal now, portals I have a hard time believing in, but if I could walk into a portal, I want to know what's on the other side of that portal. What am I going to find? You know, am I going to drop inside of a rabbit hole and just not come back?
Or a black hole.
Black hole, you know. So I mean, that's one of those things that I want to know. You know, space travel. Yeah, actually, you know, space travel, time travel, for that matter. You know, time machine, man. Um. So I mean, yeah, that's a lot of stuff that'd be kind of cool to know. I walked into a portal to the.
That was a portal body. That's funny.
By the way, Nick, I did like that device you were using in 28 Days Haunted. I'd like to know how that all came about. Sometime. You and Aaron, I'd like to have you on my show at some point. Um, so, my final question of the day is this has been a fantastic interview. Absolutely fantastic. And a lot of very heartfelt uh, things. And it's the one that you're using at the couch in that one place. Awesome. Um, so, what type of message would you like to leave with the viewers today to say, hey, she was on this show and she left this incredible message and it sticks with the people when they go investigate or whatever they do in life? What kind of message do you want to leave with the viewers?
Try and be more empathetic with one another. Empathy is not the same thing as sympathy. Genuinely try and put yourself in that situation that other people are going through. And if you can't, just be kind because you have no idea what people are struggling with on a daily basis.
Very true. Very true.
It just breaks my heart. I can't, like, there's just so much hate and nastiness enough in the world that we don't need to keep adding to it. Like, it's insane because we people choose to hate instead of love.
Mm-hmm.
I posted this today, and I think this is the one thing that I would like to leave with everyone. I may not know you. I love you. You're probably thinking you don't know me, but if people can hate for no reason, then I can love for no reason. You are loved. You matter. Make sure that if you guys do need our crisis resource information, just go to our Paranormal Bully Busters page, and everything is there for you guys, from child abuse, from domestic abuse, to gambling, to Narcotics Anonymous, alcoholics, everything in between. There are people suicide. There are people there to help you 24 hours. Everything is completely free and anonymous. So please use those resources that are in place.
I wish I could hand you an air tissue over there.
I'm just using my dress.
Well, you definitely got me to tear up, so that don't happen too often. So
Yeah, this is not our normal pace of conversation for us. So
no, it's not. But this is a side that people need to see, you know. That's
It
what
does have
makes
pockets, Nick. It does have pockets. All my dresses have pockets. I specifically only buy dresses with pockets. And I'm actually known as the dress pocket lady in most circles because I get so jazzed. I'm like, look, my dress has pockets. And I do the little, like, you ever watch Finding Nemo when she's like, look, my tentacles do this. And she does that. That's what I do with my dress pockets. So, that's that.
Wow. So let's see. Sorry, that caught me off guard. Whoops, missed a comment here.
Thank you, Nick. You and Aaron rock. I love the positivity that you guys constantly bring to the field. Like, out of the 6 years that I've like been officially in this field or whatever, you two guys are. You've never strayed from your path. You've never changed who you are. You've always been open and accepting and incredibly supportive and loving of everyone in this field, not just for you guys' own gain. And I'm so happy for you guys and all of this. I'm so fucking success. There we go. I was choking on my tears. The success that you guys have found. And I'm just so proud of y'all. Truly. I am crying. I am, actually. So,
Yes, like I said, this is very different from what normally how we are on the radio. But I also, in my defense, I have 2 other women that attack me.
Yeah. Which is funny because you'd think with all of that estrogen, we'd cry more on that show than we did today. But,
Right. And here's me in the corner rocking the chair. Help me.
I'm sorry,
Hey,
guys.
Mike. Ooh.
Oh,
Manchester, England. Awesome.
Yellow, Mike.
Thank you for joining us.
Anytime, Nick. You guys truly deserved that. And I'm so very proud of you guys.
So what you got coming up?
That's a lot. Give
Hey,
me a
Troy.
second.
Troy. Oh, you're the sweetest. Troy has been there every step of the way this entire time I've been in the field. I think he's like one of the first people I ever really became friends with when I started doing this in the field. And every step of the way, just whatever he can share or or you know what I'm saying? Like, just any way that he can support, he does. And that's what I'm saying. The people that we have in this field, for as many shitty people as there are, there's 6, 7 times over amazing and great people. And we have such a awesome little family in this now. And it's pretty awesome.
Hey, there's Taryn, I believe.
Oh, there she is. Wasn't she supposed to be here?
Hey, she probably just had something to do. That's all right, though. She's here. She says hi.
Hello. So I have the, oh my gosh, where is it? Ugh. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to find it all. I usually have them pulled up. Yeah, you can go ahead and pull that up real quick while I'm looking for the rest of this.
See if I can, there you go. I got you there.
I love hugs. Hugs are my favorite.
And
I'll take it.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Will you remove the comment real quick so I can read that off?
Oh, yeah. Give me a moment here. There we go. There we go. Now if I can get back to where I was.
Okay, so this is... So I'm going to start fucking crying again. Part of what I do with the asylum, again, because, I just don't feel like... I feel like if I have the means to help anyone, it just should be done. No questions asked. This is going to be the 6th fundraiser that we've done for somebody. Pat McClellan is one of my dearest friends. He and Cammie are the people that, they do all of our work, like crystals, gems, everything like metaphysical. He and Cammie, his wife, are the people who are there every Paracon, every show, every open flea market, like anything you could think of. They're always there with their collection. They are just the greatest people. I can tell you that they've probably like given away more than they've actually sold just because that's how big their hearts are, you know. And Pat was just recently diagnosed with colon cancer, and it's pretty bad. They are currently right now over $3,000 behind on their rent, facing an eviction while he's dealing with chemotherapy. He has to have colostomy bags, which are like $50 per 10 pack, and he goes through like one a day, which gets really expensive over time. Right now, all I'm trying to do is raise enough for their rent to make sure that they don't get kicked out. So, December 17th, I know it's short notice, but December 17th from 2 p.m. to 8 a.m., which is more than enough time. It's a full investigation, an overnight stay, campfire. I will have the food vendor on site, the history tour, and it is $100 per person, which I don't feel good about. I've never really charged more than $50, $60 for any of those things. But this does, I made it much longer. That way, the $100 does kind of like even out because you're there for that much longer. The full investigation lasts from 2 to 8 whenever you guys want to leave, but it is $100 per person, and there are only 20 spots available. So just kind of please keep that in mind. I'm about to send Darren the GoFundMe link real quick so we can get it into the chat. But yeah, that's that would just mean a lot. They do have a GoFundMe set up for him, so let me get that link real quick because I do have it on my page as well. Sorry guys, god damn. I didn't expect it to be this emotional tonight.
It happens. It's okay.
So actually here, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. You guys can go ahead and go to the GoFundMe. If you guys do not want to give to the GoFundMe, just message me and I'll give you our personal, I'll give you the personal, PayPal and like pay information for them. So you can send it directly to them without GoFundMe taking an arm and a leg out of all of that. Because they take so much out of it. It's pretty insane how much they take out, especially when it's going towards like burials and cancer patients and shit like that. The GoFundMe link is up there right now. Thank you guys for all of your support and interest. That even just made my heart so very happy that even just one person asked, I really, really appreciate it. And please don't overgive. Just whatever you can comfortably. Anything will help, truly. And I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you guys. And I appreciate you, Darren, for letting me come on and kind of push that.
Hey, anytime. I'm here for, the support, and you're a colleague of mine, and we do a podcast together on the radio, and I love having you guys on. So the moment I can jump on, I'm going to jump on. So you're definitely welcome back to be on again for anything else that needs to be done. So
thank you so much. So the last events that I'm going to push real quick, we have a Christmas Carol Ghost Hunt, which is coming up this Saturday, December 10th in downtown Kilgore. It will start at 9:00. Everyone will meet at Geektopia, which is right down the street. It's basically, basically just, it's called a Christmas Carol Ghost Hunt. So what's going to happen is they let me have like free run of all of downtown Kilgore, which is like super stupid of them. Just kidding. I'm super responsible. But I get free reign of downtown Kilgore, and we get to do all of these businesses in the train depot and the world's richest acre lot and all this stuff. But as we go from place to place this time, there will be actors dressed as the Charles Dickens characters from A Christmas Carol and following us around from location to location, telling the Scrooge ghost stories throughout the night.
Interesting.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I love it. Where's this at?
In Kilgore, Texas.
Man, so far away.
Yeah. And then the December 17th event, obviously, Other than that, my podcast season 4 drops. I should know the date off the top of my head, but I don't. January
So
9th.
I wanted to jump on and say thank you for doing that for your friend. I mean, there's so many things that people like us in in your position could be doing what you're doing for your own personal gain and this and that, but when people do this to help out for people that are sick with cancer. One of my very good friends, Bill Freeman, died of cancer, and we had benefits and GoFundMe's and stuff to raise for him. And you have people out there that do it for homeless veterans and people, or animal shelters and stuff. When we use our platform for the good and to try to help out, to me, that is just, you have no idea how much respect I have for somebody like you that is doing that.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. And I appreciate what you guys do too, because I know you help a lot out with Tim's stuff, with the potograph things. And that's
Yes.
that's one of my favorite things to ever do. But actually, now that you said that, so I can plug the next thing. So part of what I do also is every winter and every summer, I do drives for the veterans homeless shelters in the area and make them care packages to drop off. That way they're not just out in the horrible weather, whether it be the extreme heat or the extreme cold, basically helpless. And whatever is extra always gets donated. I do a lot of relief efforts for natural disasters and things like that because I grew up in hurricanes and typhoons my whole life, so I understand the losses of those things too. So I don't know if you can see it, but I'll post it on here later if you guys want to come back to it. Oh yeah, you can't see it. Oop.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh,
whiteout.
there we go.
Oh, there you go.
So it's a
Oh.
winter drive for the Homeless Veterans Service of Dallas.
Oh,
I
that's
have
awesome.
other packs that are made, sanitary packs, safety packs, and food packs, and they're all delivered to them, and it lasts them for about 2 or 3 months. So
That's awesome.
I reshared that this morning, I believe.
yes, you did. So if you guys are interested in donating to that too, I have the link for all of my information for like PayPal, Venmo, and stuff like that. But there's also a link directly to the Amazon list that I use to shop for it every year. So you can also just buy things directly if you don't feel like sending the money and want to buy something directly off of the list. You can do that as well. But mostly people just send me the money so I can get like food and stuff, because you can get bulk stuff on Amazon, but it's like outrageous because I could just go to like Dollar Tree or Walmart. Yeah, for like 95 cents a can.
Or like the Sam's or not Sam's. Who does
Costco.
bulk? Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Sam's
who
and
does
Costco.
bulk?
Yeah, Sam's does. Sam's and
Sam's
Costco
and
both.
Well, I don't like BJ's because of something stupid, but I
I don't even
refuse
know
to
what a
shop
BJ.
there
Well, I
again.
know what a BJ is, but I don't know what that BJ is.
I like those BJ's. I'm talking about. I'm talking about the store. Yeah, I was walking in one time with my puppy, who was like literally 3 pounds, and this guy thought he was, big stuff, big security stuff for a grocery store, and he's like, he had his back to me, but he turns, he's like, "Is that a service animal?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Is that a service animal?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Can't come in here." I wouldn't even look at me. I was like, "Really, dude? Like, it's not that serious. Why are you acting like?" And since then, I've written off BJ's. So not the store
Not the
BJ's.
just the store. Now
Just
that'll
the-
get me banned. That might have just gotten me banned. God damn it! Now
Who
I'm in
knows?
Facebook jail again. Send me commissary, y'all.
Yeah, that's why you have to set up a real fake account for when that happens, because I've learned that's what I have to
My
do.
friends all suggested that. Look, you're in Facebook jail too much. You need to get a different account.
You
need to have
do.
2 accounts.
I did it.
She
did
has,
Fuck
she
the
has 2
system.
accounts.
Come for me,
accounts.
Zuckerberg.
I'm waiting for them to catch on, though. I keep waiting for it.
So this has been an awesome show, like I said, and girl.
Sorry, I missed it. I'm sorry.
No, no, that's fine. She got me to cry a little because she cried. So
Yeah.
that don't happen too often, and our chats are never like that. This.
We're never like actually serious, like ever. Not even for like 2 seconds. So that got much deeper. I wasn't expecting to get as nice.
Well, you
as
know
it
what
was
though? I
tonight.
mean, it's something that you're passionate about, and when you have two passions that collide together,
Yeah.
you know, it can create
It's
this overwhelming,
Yeah.
you know. And then when you see people that you don't know or have
That's
never
what got
met
me the most. Like,
and want to help out, you know, it's then
so
you say
nice.
it makes you feel like what you're doing is really worth it. You know, it's really worth it. So
Hmm.
It's very nice.
totally get it.
So how do we usually end the show, Miss Ashley?
Well, on our show, we make sure that we have Elmo. Elmo loves you.
And then we make sure that Cookie Monster comes out. Nom, 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 nom. And then we make sure that Super Grover comes out too. Da-da-da. And then we make sure that Kermit the Frog here, just so you know, I sure could have the sherbet licked clean off my balls. Ribbit, ribbit. Ooh.
I can't do that one as well now because I'm sick. But that one's usually like,
Ribbit, ribbit. Ooh. Kermit the Frog here.
there we go. Let's see. Which other one should we end it with tonight then? We got to throw in one that's just a random funsies. Which one you want? Sling Blade? You want Roz from Monsters Inc.?
Sling
That
Blade.
sounds pretty good. You want Sling?
Sling
Okay.
Blade.
I'll do both since you wanted Roz.
Oh.
I reckon I'd like me some of that paranormal brew. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's so great.
I reckon I'd like me some of them Midwest Ghost Seekers. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I reckon I'd like me an extra side of mustard. Mm-hmm. You calls it a hacksaw, I calls it a sling blade. Mm-hmm.
And then Roz. Okay.
Mr. Bus, you didn't turn in all of your paperwork.
Oh my
It's
God.
due by the end of the day.
That's so great.
I
Somebody
don't know
wrote.
who Pepe the Shrimp is, but Trump, you fired. That's the only thing I know. You fired.
We
You're
did
fired.
exceptionally well. We did really, really well. The
It's
show was
huge,
exceptionally well.
Just huge.
Huge. We're gonna make
I'm
a
the best
huge...
president ever. Huge. It's a big deal. And you
I don't
fired.
know. I don't know what you all heard.
This is also my Trump impersonation. Just kidding. I can't get my hair to go all the way to that side.
I could take off my hat and I have none. So
Billions and billions. Yeah.
Huge. Like I said, huge amounts. Huge.
this is fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed it.
It's all right.
It was not intentional. I got
No,
your
you're-
text, got your message, and Darren,
just-
there's a lot going on. So
I can imagine. That's all right.
Jeff Feel.
So thank you guys for joining us tonight for this awesome interview with Ashley Storm. And remember, you've been watching the Paranormal Brew and the BB3 TV networks. And if you don't have Facebook, join us on the MGS Paranormal YouTube channel. We're on all at the same time, so you won't skip a beat. And with that, that's Taryn. And that's Ashley. I bid you all adieu. See you next time, everybody.
bye.